You ever sit down to play for something just an hour and suddenly it's 3 a.m. and you've got work in 4 hours? Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. These are the games that don't just respect your time, they straight up steal it, and you thank them for it. No particular order here, just 20 games that will absolutely wreck your schedule. Let's go.
1. Baldur's Gate 3 is D&D, but it actually works as a video game. Every conversation, every dice roll, every decision, it all matters. And I mean actually matters. Here's the thing. A single playthrough shows you maybe 40% of the game's content. You can romance different companions, side with different factions, make completely different choices in major story beats. There are solutions to quests you won't even discover until your third run. The combat uses D&D 5e rules, turn-based, action economy, the whole deal. You've got actions, bonus actions, reactions. Initiative determines turn order. But the genius part, the environment is fully interactive. You can shove enemies off cliffs, stack explosive barrels, freeze water surfaces. It rewards creative problem solving. Multi-classing lets you combine up to 12 different classes. Want to be a barbarian wizard who casts fireball then rages? Go for it. A warlock paladin with eldritch blast and divine smites? Absolutely. Real talk, this game is long. One playthrough is easily 60 to 80 hours if you're thorough. But the branching paths mean completionists are looking at 200 plus hours minimum. The time sink is the roleplay. You genuinely embody your character's decisions instead of following a scripted path. That's what hooks you.
Number 2, Elden Ring. From Software took Dark Souls and gave it an open world, but not a Ubisoft open world with quest markers and checklist busywork. An actual, organic open world where you just explore. The Lands Between has 6 major regions. Then, in 2024, the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC dropped, adding an entire new realm with multiple massive areas to explore. No quest markers, no waypoints telling you where to go. You see something interesting on the horizon? Go there. That's it. Over 160 boss encounters in the base game. Some are mandatory demigods like Millennia, who is notoriously difficult, or Starscourge Radon with his gravity powers. Others are optional field bosses you stumble across. The DLC adds another 40+ bosses on top of that. Every single one can be beaten with any weapon or build. It's all about learning patterns. The build variety is insane. Spirit Summons give you AI partners for tough fights. Ashes of War let you completely customize weapon movesets. Over 100 spells with distinct playstyles. You can respec your character whenever you want, so experimentation never punishes you. Here's why it steals hours. Endless build experimentation. Every weapon class has 20+ variants. You'll spend 50 hours on a strength build, then think, what if I tried pure intelligence? Boom, another 50 hours. And secrets everywhere. Invisible walls, hidden passages, NPCs with entire quest lines you can miss. Even 200+ hour veterans still discover new stuff. The difficulty? It's the perfect sweet spot. Challenging enough to feel earned, but Summon Ashes and co-op make it accessible if you're struggling. It never feels unfair.
3. Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead 2 is, look, it's not really a game. It's a simulation of existing in 1899. You play Arthur Morgan, an outlaw in the Vanderlyn gang's final days. Arthur is not a good dude, but over 60+ hours, you watch him question his loyalty to Dutch as the gang fractures and Dutch's leadership gets increasingly unhinged. The immersion systems are ridiculous. NPCs follow daily schedules, visit the gang camp at different times, and you'll see completely different interactions. Your horse bonds with you. Better bond levels unlock abilities. Weapons degrade and need cleaning. Arthur's appearance changes based on your honor system. Eating animations vary by food type. But here's the genius. The game is intentionally slow. You're not sprinting from mission to mission. You're riding through landscapes, hunting, fishing, helping random strangers. You can spend 2 hours just hunting deer and it feels right. Real talk. The mission structure is linear as hell. Rockstar's follow the yellow line design is still here, but the sandbox between missions is where the magic happens. Why it steals hours? You forget you're playing a game. The pacing forces you to sit with moments. You'll spend 30 minutes riding to a mission, just watching the sunset, and time evaporates. Plus, the story hits harder than most movies. You genuinely care about these people. The emotional weight alone keeps you playing. Arthur's arc is one of the best in gaming, period.
4. The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3's secret, its side quests are better than most games' main stories. Take the Bloody Baron quest. It's technically a side quest, but it's a 2-3 hour tragedy about family, curses, and moral ambiguity that most RPGs would kill to have as their main plot. Or the 40-plus monster hunting contracts where you investigate crime scenes, track creatures, and learn their weaknesses before fighting them. You play Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter looking for his adopted daughter Ciri. But the journey matters more than the destination. Your choices with Yennefer and Triss affect your romance options. Decisions about Ciri determine her fate. The game tracks 60-plus hours of choices and compounds them into 36 possible endings. Combat uses sword switching, fast attacks for quick enemies, heavy attacks for armored ones. 5 Witcher signs give you tactical magic, Igni for fire, Quen for shields, Ard to push, Axii for mind control, and Yrden for traps. Potion crafting matters, preparation before fights gives you bonuses. Here's the time sink. Quest density. Over 400 activities across 100-plus hours. But also, Gwent, the in-game card game. People joke about starting The Witcher 3 for the story and spending 10 hours just playing Gwent in taverns. It's genuinely addictive. The open world guides you naturally. You're riding through a forest, see a question mark, investigate, and 3 hours later, you've cleared an entire region. Voice acting is top tier, every NPC feels alive. Downside, it's dated now. Combat feels clunky compared to modern action RPGs, but the storytelling carries it.
5. Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 is a JRPG mixed with a life sim, and it's designed to be addictive. The daily loop. Wake up, go to school, hang out with friends, fight monsters in supernatural palaces, go to sleep. Repeat for 300-plus in-game days, covering an entire school year. Each day offers 4 to 5 activities. You're constantly optimizing time to max all your stats, knowledge, guts, charm, proficiency, because these stats unlock confidants, which are basically relationship levels with NPCs. Confidants directly strengthen your party's combat abilities. Max out a party member's confidant, you unlock devastating co-op attacks. Max out side character confidants, you get gameplay bonuses like discounts or new abilities. The hook is FOMO. Every day matters. You can't see everything in one playthrough, so you finish the 100-hour campaign and immediately think, okay, but what if I prioritize different confidants? Combat uses 300-plus collectible demons called personas that you fuse together. Discovering fusion combos unlock powerful moves. Boss fights require strategy and elemental weaknesses. Real talk, the game is long. One playthrough is 100 to 120 hours minimum. 3 playthroughs to see all content, you're looking at 300-plus hours. But the daily loop creates this just one more day mentality. You sit down for 30 minutes, suddenly it's 4 hours later, and you've completed an entire in-game month. The stylish UI and iconic soundtrack make routine activities feel rewarding. Why it works? Every day feels productive. You're always progressing something. Stats, relationships, combat strength. That constant forward momentum is pure dopamine.
6. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So Nintendo took Breath of the Wild and said, what if we gave players actual creative freedom? The Ultra Hand mechanic lets you grab objects, rotate them, and attach them to other objects. Combined with the fuse system, attaching items to weapons, this creates infinite problem solving. Example, there's a shrine puzzle blocking your path. The intended solution involves moving platforms with specific timing, but you can also build a flying machine with fans and wood, or fuse a rocket tier shield and blast over the wall, or stack boxes and climb. The game never tells you the correct answer. The world has 3 layers: surface, sky islands, and underground depths. Each layer has unique biomes, puzzles, and bosses. You can tackle content in literally any order. 120-plus shrines with environmental puzzles, but unlike most games, shrines reward experimentation. YouTube is full of videos showing 50-plus unique solutions to single puzzles. Here's why it steals hours: emergent problem solving. Every vista you see triggers investigation. That distant mountain, there's probably a shrine up there. That weird rock formation, probably hiding a Korok seed. And there are 1,000 Korok seeds. Completionists looking at 200-plus hours just for collectibles. Weapon degradation is still here. Weapons break after limited uses, but instead of being frustrating, it encourages experimentation. You're constantly trying new weapon combos because nothing is permanent. Real talk, the physics are so good that experimentation never gets old. 100-hour players still discover new interactions. Mastery never plateaus.
7. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. Skyrim came out in 2011. It's 2025. People are still playing it. Why? 2 words: modding community. The base game is a massive open-world RPG. You're the Dragonborn, destined to fight dragons and save the world, but that's almost secondary to the sandbox. Multiple factions: Dark Brotherhood assassins, Thieves Guild, Companions Warriors, College of Winterhold mages. Each faction has 8 to 15 unique quests. The Radiant quest system generates infinite procedural missions, Dark Brotherhood contracts, Thieves Guild jobs, dungeon clearing. Theoretically, you never run out of content. Combat uses 6 schools of magic, dozens of weapon types, and an enchanting system where you disenchant items to learn permanent enhancements. You can respec your character mid-game so you're never locked into one build. But here's the real hook: roleplay. The game rewards self-directed storytelling. You're not following a scripted narrative. You're creating your own through emergent gameplay. And the mods. Oh my god, the mods. Over 1 billion mod downloads. You can turn Skyrim into a survival sim, a Dark Souls-like photorealistic hiking sim. The community refuses to let this game die. Downside? The base game feels dated now. Combat is floaty, animations are stiff, quest design is repetitive, but the modding potential makes it eternal. 14 years later, people are still releasing mods that fundamentally change the experience. The Radiant quests create this trap where the goalpost constantly moves. You think you're done, then another contract appears. Just one more quest, and another, and another.
8. Hogwarts Legacy. Harry Potter fans waited 20 years for this game. Hogwarts Legacy lets you attend Hogwarts as a 5th-year student. You customize your character, body type, face, house, and experience the castle as a fully explorable environment. 30-plus learnable spells organized into categories: defensive spells like Protego and Stupefy, damage spells like Confringo and Defindo, utility spells like Revelio to reveal secrets, and optional unforgivable curses: Avada Kedavra for instant kills, Crucio for damage over time, and Imperio for mind control. Combat uses button combos for spells. Timing matters. Perfect dodges and well-timed casts create skill shot gameplay. The Room of Requirement is your customizable home base. You build potion stations, looms for crafting gear, and greenhouses for ingredients. It unlocks 30-plus hours of optional crafting loops. Hogwarts Castle has 50-plus secret locations, hidden passages behind portraits, moving staircases, the Astronomy Tower with time-limited collectibles. The immersion is unreal for Potter fans. Here's why it steals hours: fantasy fulfillment. Fans have imagined exploring Hogwarts since childhood. Finally doing it is intoxicating. Plus, cosmetic hunting. Over 100 collectible outfits, robes, glasses, hairstyles. You'll spend hours just in the character creator. Real talk, the game plays it extremely safe. The story is fine, but predictable. Combat can feel repetitive after 20 hours, but for Potter fans, exploring the castle makes up for everything. The Easter eggs alone keep you searching. References to the books and movies are everywhere. You'll spend hours just hunting for callbacks.
Fallout 4 is a post-apocalyptic RPG with settlement building. That second part is what steals your time. The base game, you're searching for your kidnapped son across the Commonwealth wasteland. You join factions like the Brotherhood of Steel or the Railroad, each with unique quest lines, standard Bethesda open-world stuff. But then, the settlement system hooks you. You can modify 28-plus locations into functioning bases, build walls, turrets, watchtowers, place water purifiers and crop beds for resources, assign settlers to jobs, create trade routes between settlements. And here's the trap: it's all optional. Settlement building gives almost zero mechanical benefit, but once it hooks you, you can't stop. 40 hours just building and decorating bases. 5 crafting stations let you modify everything. Armor workbenches for legendary effects, weapon modification stations to customize scopes, stocks, caliber, power armor stations for the franchise's iconic exoskeleton, chemistry stations for drugs and explosives. The Commonwealth has 400 plus locations. Every building potentially contains power armor, unique weapons, or lore holotapes. White steals hours, settlement syndrome. You tell yourself just 30 minutes to improve one base. 4 hours later, you've rebuilt 3 settlements and connected them with supply lines. Plus, legendary equipment farming. Specific enemies drop unique weapons. Players compulsively grind rare drops. Real talk, the main story is whatever, but the settlement building and exploration, that's the game. The DLC adds even more building options. Nuka World, Far Harbor, workshop items, and mod support extends it indefinitely. Quality of life mods, gameplay overhauls, new content. This game has legs.
10. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima makes you feel like a legendary samurai. You play Jin Sakai defending Tsushima Island from Mongol invaders. The combat centers on stance switching. 4 martial forms optimized for different enemy types. Stone stance for swordsmen. Water stance for shield bearers with flowing strikes that bypass defenses. Wind stance for spear wielders with powerful kicks. Moon stance for brutes with quick slashes overwhelming heavy armor. Mastering stance switching creates this rhythmic flow. Combat feels like choreographed samurai duels when you're playing well. 10 plus mandatory duels against legendary opponents. These remove all HUD elements. No health bars, no prompts, just you and your opponent. Pure pattern recognition. Perfectly parrying and countering feels incredible. Exploration uses wind-based navigation instead of minimaps. Following wind direction toward objectives creates organic discovery. You're not staring at a compass, you're watching the environment. 45 optional bamboo strike challenges test combat mastery. Hot springs unlock lore through meditation, and the photo mode is absurdly robust. The community obsessively shares screenshots because every vista looks like a painting. Why it steals hours? The combat feel. Every parry, every strike, it all carries weight. The audio-visual feedback is perfect. Fights are satisfying even 40 hours in. Plus cosmetic hunting. 60 plus armor sets, hairstyles, horse gear. You'll spend hours just trying on outfits. Real talk? The open world structure is standard Ubisoft fare. Liberate camps, find collectibles. It's formulaic, but the combat and visuals elevated. The pacing never rushes you. Peaceful exploration punctuates intense combat. It's meditative.
11. Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is dangerous. Here's why. Each in-game day is 14 real-world minutes. You tell yourself, just one more day. Suddenly, you've played an entire in-game season, 28 days, which is 6.5 hours. You inherit a farm and rebuild it. Plant 50-plus crops with varying growth rates, raise animals, cows, chickens, ducks, rabbits, transform raw goods into artisan products like wine, jam, cheese. Different crops thrive in different seasons, so planning matters. 20-plus marriageable villagers, each one has preferred gifts. Give perfect gifts for 80 friendship points, give hated gifts, and lose points. Reaching 10 hearts, plus giving a bouquet, plus upgrading your farmhouse, unlocks marriage. But here's the thing, the game never punishes you. No fail states, no time pressure. The music is relaxing, the visuals are cozy. It's therapeutic. Hidden mechanics everywhere. Secret marriages affect gameplay. Your spouse might water crops or cook breakfast. Completing community bundles unlocks new areas. Mysterious shadow creatures appear under specific conditions. Why it steals hours? The daily loop creates compulsive progression. Every day you're planting, harvesting, talking to villagers, exploring. It feels productive. An optimization addiction. Players obsess over perfect farm layouts, maximizing crop yields, speedrunning relationships. The game has no win condition, so you create your own goals. Real talk? It's simple on the surface. Pixel art, basic mechanics, but the depth reveals itself slowly. 200-plus achievements for completionists, seasonal events, 13-plus festivals provide natural checkpoints, but you always think, just one more season. That's the trap.
12. No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky launched as a disaster. Now, it's a redemption story. 18 quintillion procedurally generated planets. Each one has unique ecosystems, hazardous environments, underground resources, and alien structures. You're constantly exploring because every planet is genuinely different. Base building fundamentally changed player retention. Bases serve as storage hubs, farming stations for automated crops, and teleportation hubs for fast travel. players spend 100+ hours perfecting single bases, despite no mechanical reason to do so. Progression systems include technology trees, unlocking new equipment, economy systems for trade routes, freighter customization for mobile capital ships, and creature taming, where you befriend alien fauna. The exploration loop: land on a planet, scan flora and fauna, mine resources, discover structures, repeat. It sounds repetitive, but procedural generation guarantees novelty. Here's why it steals hours: infinite discovery. You literally cannot see everything. Dopamine hits continue indefinitely. Plus, base building obsession. Once you start building, you can't stop. Each base becomes a 20 to 40 hour project. Cooperative multiplayer lets you build with friends. Shared projects extend engagement exponentially. Real talk, the game launched incomplete. Missing features, false promises, but 5 years of free updates, base building, multiplayer, story missions transformed it. The redemption arc narrative makes it compelling. Plus, exploration feels therapeutic. Time disappears while scanning planets. Alien civilization provides structure, but the real draw is chasing endgame goals, reaching the galaxy center, finding rare ships, perfecting bases. It's No Man's Sky's second chance, and they earned it.
13. Lies of P. Lies of P is Pinocchio meets Dark Souls. Yes, really. The weapon system is the hook. Every weapon splits into blade and handle. Blade determines damage type and special ability. Handle controls moveset and secondary ability. Mix them however you want. Greatsword blade plus rapier handle creates a thrusting greatsword with fast combos. Axe blade plus sword handle combines heavy overhead strikes with sword chains. Whip blade plus hammer handle gives you hammer stagger with whip reach. 40+ unique bosses. Each one requires pattern learning. King's Flame AOD has rapid combination attacks. Fallen Archbishop Andreas introduces new mechanics mid-fight. Champion Victor is a pure duel against a legendary opponent. The lying mechanic affects the story. Pinocchio can lie during conversations. Lies accumulate and change the ending, NPC reactions, and major plot points. It adds moral complexity uncommon in Souls-likes. Why it steals hours? Weapon experimentation. Testing hybrid combos drives extended playtime. You'll spend 50 hours on one build, then think, what if I tried bleed damage? Boom, another playthrough. Boss mastery creates addiction loops. Losing to a boss 10 times sucks, but finally executing a perfect fight, unbeatable dopamine hit. Real talk, it's hard. Pairing requires precise timing. Bosses hit hard. Casual players will struggle, but the New Game Plus incentives encourage replays with different weapon combos, and the dark story compels forward momentum. You want to see how it ends. Plus, it's Pinocchio. The aesthetic alone is worth it. Belle Epoque setting mixed with grotesque puppets, it's unsettling and gorgeous.
Number 14, Bloodborne. It's From Software's aggressive cousin. Dark Souls rewards defensive play. Bloodborne punishes it. The rally mechanic lets you recover lost health by hitting enemies within 5 seconds of taking damage, so you're incentivized to trade blows and attack through damage. Quick Step replaces rolling when locked on. It's faster, encouraging offensive positioning. Transformation weapons have alternate forms. Press L1 plus R1 to transform mid-combo for damage boosts and new movesets. The combat philosophy is dodge into attacks. You're constantly in enemies' faces. 20+ memorable bosses. Lady Maria is a humanoid duel with 3 phases. Orphan of Kos is the endgame super boss. Non-stop aggression requiring frame-perfect dodges. Ludwig the Accursed combines charging attacks with ground effects. Lore is hidden beneath the surface. Great Ones, cosmic entities drive the supernatural events. The insight mechanic literally changes your perception. Higher insight reveals invisible enemies and alters NPC dialogue. Why it steals hours? Aggressive combat feels incredible. Passive play gets punished, but diving into danger and rallying health back? Pure adrenaline. 30+ weapons with transformation forms encourage multiple builds. Parry timing becomes muscle memory. Learning enemy patterns to perfectly parry creates satisfaction loops. Hidden bosses unlock through obscure NPC quest lines. You'll discover optional content 50 hours in.
Real talk, it's PS4, PS5 exclusive, no PC port, and the 30 FPS cap is rough. But the art direction, Victorian Gothic mixed with cosmic horror, is unforgettable. Plus the community. Asynchronous multiplayer creates a living ecosystem. Messages, bloodstains showing other players' deaths. You're alone but not alone. Bloodborne doesn't hold your hand, and that's why it works.
15. Divinity Original Sin 2 is tactical chess disguised as a fantasy RPG. Turn-based combat uses action points. Movement costs AP. Attacking costs AP. Spells cost 1 to 2+ actions with cooldowns. You're constantly managing resources while positioning matters. The genius? Environmental interaction. Place oil surface plus fire spell equals explosion, hitting everyone on the surface. Rain spell plus electricity equals electrified water, stunning enemies. Every encounter has 10+ solution strategies. Dialogue scenes feature conversation battles. Multiple parties compete using persuasion, intimidation, and logic. Rock, paper, scissors mechanics where certain choices beat others. Failed debates have mechanical consequences. Aggressive players face more hostile encounters. 5 magical schools with 100+ spells. Necromancy for life-stealing, Pyrokinetic for fire damage, Hydrosophist for healing and water surfaces enabling combo contacts, Aerotheurgy for crowd control, Geomancer for persistent ground damage. Why it steals hours? Infinite problem-solving. Your creativity isn't just rewarded, it's required. Teleporting enemies into hazards, stacking barrels for chain explosions, using terrain elevation for advantage. 4-player co-op multiplayer. Cooperative puzzle solving extends engagement. You and your friends arguing about tactics for 20 minutes before attempting one encounter. The game remembers 100+ dialogue choices, affecting NPC availability and endings. Consequence tracking makes every decision feel important. 50+ enemy types requiring different tactics. No 2 encounters feel identical. Real talk, it's slow-paced. Turns take time. Combat encounters can last 30+ minutes, but the tactical depth justifies the pacing. Endgame content demands perfect build optimization. You'll spend hours theory crafting before attempting apex encounters. It's not for everyone, but tactical RPG fans, this is the gold standard.
16. Final Fantasy 15 is a road trip with your boys. That's the pitch. You play as Noctis, traveling across Eos with 3 companions, Gladiolus, Ignis, and Prompto. The Regalia is your car. It only travels roads, so off-road exploration requires leaving the vehicle. Road trip mechanics, the car needs gas. Gas stations exist in major towns. Random combat encounters interrupt travel. Characters need sleep. Camping or finding motels creates natural save points. Driving triggers companion conversations, revealing character depth. Combat is real-time action. Hold circle to auto-attack. Hold square to auto-dodge. Press X to warp strike. Throw your weapon and teleport to it for positioning. Limb targeting lets you disable specific body parts like Archer's arms. But here's the thing. The fishing minigame is absurdly deep. 100+ fish species, 50+ locations, realistic tension management. People spend 10+ hours fishing despite 0 mechanical benefit. Why it steals hours? The road trip pacing. The game never rushes. Driving through landscapes feels meditative. Companion dialogue varies based on drive duration. 10-hour drives reveal deeper relationships. Prompto automatically photographs battles and exploration. Reviewing photos at camp creates nostalgic moments. It's brilliant emotional design. 100+ side quests distract from the main story constantly. You're driving to a main mission, see a side quest marker, detour for just 5 minutes, and emerge 2 hours later. Real talk, the story is a mess. The back half rushes through content that needed more development. Key plot points happen off screen, but the journey, the bonding with your friends, that's what works. It nails the adventure with friends fantasy perfectly.
17. Days Gone is a motorcycle simulator with zombies. Everything revolves around your bike. Durability systems mean it needs fuel, maintenance, repairs. Ignore maintenance, and it breaks mid-journey. When hordes, 100 to 500 zombies, chase you, motorcycle escapes become pulse-pounding set pieces. 40+ dynamic hordes roam the open world. Each horde follows follows predictable patrol routes, learn patterns for safe passage, or use distraction tactics, explosives, noisemakers, fires to divert them from objectives. Combat encounters against hordes are spectacle. 300+ enemies charging creates genuine fear. Learning horde behavior incentivizes multiple encounters despite terrifying odds. Survival systems require resource management. Ammo, fuel, supplies need constant scavenging. Crafting creates explosives, traps, medicine from scavenged materials. Health management matters. Injuries require specific treatments. Why it steals hours? Horde spectacle. Witnessing hundreds of enemies creates awe. The first time a horde chases you is unforgettable. Plus, motorcycle attachment. The bike becomes a character. Players name their bikes and emotionally invest in preservation. Losing your bike mid-horde feels genuinely bad. Open world freedom encourages exploration. Discovering hidden camps and resources rewards curiosity. Real talk. The game launched buggy. Performance issues, weird AI, patches fixed most problems, but launch reception was rough. The story is longer than it needs to be, 40 hours with pacing issues. Some sections drag. But the motorcycle-centric gameplay differentiates it from other zombie games. When it clicks, it really clicks. The post-apocalyptic atmosphere nails the desolation. Riding through abandoned highways with your bike feels cinematic.
Number 18. Kingdom Come: Deliverance removes modern game conveniences to maximize immersion. No fast travel, you traverse medieval Bohemia on horseback. Journey time creates immersion. No quest markers, finding objectives requires NPC directions or map reading. Limited saves, the game only saves at beds or using rare schnapps items. Death has consequences. Realistic combat uses directional blocking and attacking. Zone system defends or attacks from specific directions. Overhead, left, right. Master strikes convert perfect timed blocks into devastating counterattacks. Weapon weight matters. Heavier weapons deal more damage but drain stamina. Damaged armor provides reduced protection. Skill progression. Combat improves through practice. New players struggle against experienced NPCs. Henry, the protagonist, is a blacksmith's son with zero combat training. Early game fights are brutally difficult because Henry sucks. Gradually, you and Henry improve. The story is grounded in historical reality, set in 1403 Bohemia, 15 years before the Hussite Wars would erupt. The game captures the political tensions and religious reform movements building toward those wars. No fantasy elements, NPCs follow realistic daily routines. Finding specific NPCs requires learning schedules. Why it steals hours? Immersion payoff. Players who embrace the limitations report profound engagement. The world feels genuinely alive. Martial mastery creates satisfying progression. Finally, defeating skilled opponents feels earned because you actually learned directional combat. Medieval history enthusiasts love the authentic representation. Lore becomes engaging because it's historically accurate. Real talk, the limitations frustrate modern gamers. No fast travel in 2025? Harsh. Early combat is punishingly difficult before you skill up, but hardcore players can enable permadeath. Every encounter becomes high stakes. One mistake ends your run. The game prioritizes authenticity over accessibility. That creates devoted cult following, but alienates casual players. For immersion purists, this is the gold standard.
19. Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding 2 dropped in mid-2025, and it's already consuming people's lives. It's about delivering packages across post-apocalyptic America, and it's addictive. The delivery loop transports 20+ item types balancing load weight, fragility protection, destination requirements. Terrain navigation forces route planning because weather patterns, rain, tar, ghostly creatures block paths. Different delivery types require specific strategies. Bridge construction connects isolated communities. Every bridge placement requires resources, but helps other players. Infrastructure building creates surprisingly deep strategic gameplay. Base building serves gameplay functions. Delivery terminals enables fast cargo distribution. Shelters provide safety from BTs, ghostly creatures, and weather. Generators power equipment. Safe houses allow fast travel between locations. Combat exists, but isn't the focus. Weapon variety includes melee, firearms, and equipment. BT encounters are boss creatures, requiring specific strategies, but the game emphasizes cooperation over combat. Why it steals hours? Meditative gameplay. Long deliveries across beautiful landscapes create therapeutic experiences.
Time disappears during peaceful journeys. Infrastructure building satisfaction. Watching community growth and seeing other players use your bridges feels rewarding. The emotional narrative drives forward momentum. Character relationships compel you toward reunion moments. Kojima Productions' cinematography creates stunning vistas. Multiplayer asynchrony is genius. Seeing other players' structures, equipment, messages creates a sense of shared community without direct interaction. Real talk? It's slow. Deliberately slow. Walking simulator critics aren't wrong, but that's intentional design. The game rewards patience and cooperation over traditional action game thrills. It's meditative, not adrenaline-fueled. For players wanting something different, Death Stranding 2 is fascinating. Just don't expect constant action.
20. AC Valhalla is settlement building plus Viking raids. That combination steals time. Settlement management is permanent progression. Upgrade structures, blacksmith, tattoo parlor, training grounds to unlock services. Raids gather materials like wood, supplies, ale for construction. Completing character quest lines expands settlement services. Raids are large-scale assaults on monastery settlements. River raids are replayable. Preparation involves scouting and team selection, determining difficulty. Dynamic combat coordinates crew members in simultaneous encounters. Scalable difficulty means repeating locations increases defensive scaling. Combat modernizes the series. Dual wielding provides combo opportunities unavailable with sword and shield. Stamina management creates tactical decisions. Manual parry replaces automatic blocking. Player skill determines survival. Skill-based finishers provide instant kill animations when exploiting vulnerabilities. Character customization includes beard length, tattoos, hair color, armor appearance. Jom's Viking creation builds custom mercenaries other players can recruit. Different loadouts create distinct playstyles. Why it steals hours? Settlement obsession. Watching communities grow through your actions creates ownership feeling. Every upgrade feels meaningful. Raid repetition. Replayable, scalable raids with increasing difficulty provide endless engagement. You're constantly gathering resources for settlement upgrades. Multiple romance options and character quest lines encourage relationship investment. DLC adds story scenarios, new settlements, expanded endgame. Real talk, it's bloated. Ubisoft open world formula. Liberate camps, collect things. The map is absurdly large with repetitive activities, but the raid system, replayable, scalable, cooperative, creates endgame engagement beyond main story, and settlement building gives you long-term goals. For Vikings and management sim fans, it works.
So there you go. 20 games that will absolutely wreck your schedule. What's your most time-stealing game? Something I missed? Let me know in the comments. And if you survived this entire video without checking your phone, congrats. That's more restraint than these games will give you. Thanks for watching.